Before we dive in, quick heads up. This video discusses self-harm, not in graphic detail, but in subtle forms that may feel personal or triggering. If you're not in the right headspace, that's okay. Take care of yourself first. We'll be here when you're ready. So, here's something that might sound a little strange. Self-harm doesn't always involve visible scars. Sometimes it looks like being way too hard on yourself. Sometimes it's skipping meals not to lose weight, but because you don't deserve to take a break. And sometimes it hides behind habits we've been told are completely normal or even responsible. This is Oliver. He's been on a journey, one you might recognize. From the outside, he looks like he's doing pretty well. He shows up, gets stuff done, smiles when people ask how he is. But inside, he's tired, confused, and honestly, a little lost. And the more he learns about emotional healing, the more he realizes something big. Some of the things he thought were just adulting were actually tiny ways he was hurting himself. Today, we're walking through 5 habits you didn't know are actually forms of self-harm. They don't come with dramatic warning signs, no movie scenes, just quiet little patterns that chip away at your well-being until you finally ask, wait, why am I doing this to myself? But don't worry, this isn't about blaming. This is about understanding. When you name something, you can start to change it, and every small shift is a win. Let's start with one of the sneakiest forms of self-harm out there, chronic people-pleasing. You might not think of it as harmful. After all, what's wrong with being nice, right? But here's the difference. Being kind is when you want to help. People-pleasing is when you feel like you have to. It's when you say yes, even though your body is screaming no. When you apologize just to avoid awkwardness, not because you actually did anything wrong. When you worry more about disappointing others than betraying yourself. That's what Oliver used to do. He thought being liked meant being safe. But over time, saying yes to everyone else left him saying no to himself, over and over again. People-pleasing might look like selflessness, but it's often rooted in fear. And when you constantly ignore your own needs, that's not kindness, that's self-harm. Next up, overworking, or as I like to call it, socially acceptable self-destruction. We live in a world that claps for burnout, that hands out gold stars to whoever sleeps the least, skips lunch, and says, "I'm slammed with pride." But here's the thing. Constantly overworking isn't a flex. It's a coping mechanism. For Oliver, staying busy helped him avoid uncomfortable feelings. If he kept moving, maybe he wouldn't have to feel lonely, or scared, or not good enough. But burnout always catches up. And the moment you realize your worth isn't tied to your output, it's both terrifying and freeing. If you're someone who measures your value by how much you get done, let this be your reminder. Rest is not a reward. It's a basic human need. And denying yourself that rest, that's another subtle way we self-harm. The third habit is negative self-talk. And no, not the casual, ugh, I'm so dumb kind. I'm talking about the relentless, cruel inner voice that says things you'd never say to someone you love. You're not doing enough. You always mess things up. Why are you like this? Oliver had this voice in his head for years. And the worst part? He thought it was just being realistic. He called it tough love. Motivation, a little kick in the pants, but all it really did was wear him down. When your internal dialogue becomes a constant stream of criticism, it's not discipline. It's mental self-harm. And guess what? You don't have to earn the right to speak to yourself kindly. You already deserve that softness. Always have. On to habit number 4, emotional suppression. This one is tricky, especially if you grew up in a we don't talk about feelings kind of environment. But let's be clear, suppressing emotions isn't the same as managing them. It's more like shoving them into a box and hoping they magically disappear. Spoiler alert, they don't. Oliver used to push everything down: anger, stuffed, sadness, ignored, fear, laughed off. But here's what no one tells you: emotions don't vanish. They get stored in your body, in your habits, in your sleep. And eventually, they come out sideways. Avoiding emotions might seem like strength, but letting yourself feel, really feel, is one of the bravest things you can do. When we disconnect from our feelings, we disconnect from ourselves. And that quiet numbness, that's emotional self-harm. And finally, habit number 5, staying in toxic or draining situations because it's not that bad. This one stings because it's not always obvious. It could be a job that slowly kills your spirit, a friendship where you feel small, a relationship where love feels conditional. For Oliver, it was a group of friends that constantly joked at his expense. Nothing major, nothing serious, just small jabs that left big bruises. He told himself, it's fine. At least I'm not alone. But deep down, he knew, being around people who drain you isn't connection. It's just another form of self-neglect. When you keep choosing situations that hurt you because the unknown feels scarier, that's still self-harm, just in slow motion. So let's take a breath, and let's be clear. None of these habits make you broken. They make you human. Most of us learned these patterns as a way to survive. They were shields, coping tools, armor. But at some point, what protected you starts to imprison you. And when that day comes, it's okay to choose something new. Healing doesn't mean fixing yourself. It means coming home to yourself. With gentleness, with honesty, and yes, with a little bit of courage. So if any of these habits sounded familiar, don't panic. You're not bad, you're not alone, and you're not stuck. Maybe today is the day you notice. Maybe tomorrow is the day you try something different. Either way, that's progress. If this video resonated, drop a comment and let Oliver know which habit hit the hardest. And if you want more gentle reminders like this, consider subscribing. This channel is all about healing in the real world, one messy, beautiful moment at a time. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve to be on your own side. We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.